What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Birds of the Roundtable. No intro for this one. We're just going to roll with it. Today, we are talking the Brandon Graham retirement, our top reaction and takeaways. We're talking grading the Philadelphia Eagles free agency move since last week. We're going to keep compiling our S to F tier on our graphic. And we're also going to do a quick 3-round mock draft. Joining us, he is David at PHL Eagle News. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Looking forward to it. I see Ryan's actually outside of a bar lamenting the Brandon Graham retirement. I understand, man.
Also joining us, Ryan Reese, having a little too much fun. Probably way more fun than all of us talking about me and David. What's going on, Ryan?
Not much. And listen, I watched the retirement from my desk at work, and not gonna lie, shed a few tears. A few people came over to ask if I was all right. All I said was BG, man. BG.
He left work sick, went straight to the bar, and
thank God my boss doesn't watch this.
And he's in the back of an Uber going home. All right.
I haven't watched it. If I don't watch it, it never happened, right? Like, that's how
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I don't want him to retire. The youth on the defense. Let's get into it. Let's talk the Brandon Graham retirement. David, what was your takeaway?
I think it's the right time. I mean, it's hard to hear, but I do think it's the right time. He leaves on a high note. He went back, fought through that injury with his tricep, and he re-tears it again in the Super Bowl. He's got to heal. He's not a young man anymore. There's nothing else for him to prove. He went from everybody doubting him, which he brought up in the presser, to being one of the most beloved figures in the history of Philadelphia sports, not just Eagles, but any sport. So it was the right time, and he's just a great guy. He's a great player. And just on a side note, for somebody like me who gets to interact with players occasionally, he always was kind to me, and I'm a freaking nobody. But he treated me just like he did everybody else in that building. And that's just the kind of dude he was, man. From Jeffrey Lurie to the custodial worker in that stadium, he treated everybody the same and with kindness and love. Just a great dude, man. I couldn't be happier for him. He gets to go out on top, so good for him.
Set franchise records by playing 15 seasons, 218 games, 12 in the postseason, 76.5 sacks. That trails only Reggie White and Trent Cole, man. Yeah. Unbelievable. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, listen, David said it pretty perfect, honestly. Brandon Graham was a guy that, fought through a lot of, hate in this city. There was a lot of people that wanted Earl Thomas when he got drafted, and he was a tweener. Is he linebacker? Is he an edge? This guy will never make it. And it took him a few years to kind of get his footing. And I think once he established himself, and he said he thanked the fans for basically allowing him to play with a chip on his shoulder. And I think Philly fans are great in that way. They hold you accountable, and he took that to heart and kind of led his career that way. And David also said it perfectly too. Is I've had the pleasure of meeting him 2 or 3 times, and he's right. He absolutely, again, he's at places for hours meeting fans and whatnot, and has the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah,
and looks you in the eye, shakes your hand, and gives you that Brandon Graham smile, and it kind of lets you know that he's one of us. He's just a human being, but he understands that we're all human beings. And I apologize. I'm overthinking here, getting a little emotional, but I just love that way that he is like that. And he lights up a room every time he's in it. And like I said, I've had the pleasure of only 2 or 3 times, but every one of those experiences was A+, and just I can't wait to see what he does after this, because it's going to be something. Whether he's going to be going into coaching, or maybe some sort of booth action type analyst role.
Oh yeah.
He's a guy who could talk and talk with the best of them, and he again just brings out this joy when he talks. He will be sorely missed. But David's right. He's leaving at the perfect time. He's one of what, three? Is it 3 or 4 with 2 Super Bowl trophies? And yeah, he'll go down as an absolute legend in this city.
If I can add to that, he not only when you meet him shakes your hand, he brings you in for a hug, man. Like
Yeah,
I mean, he
you're not wrong. He
he's just a
did.
good dude. And
Yeah,
he said after the presser when he was walking away, he told everybody that he'd see him next year, and he's like, not on the field, but I'm going to be here in this
yeah.
building doing something with this team next year. So that's pretty cool.
Is it all right?
This
First,
is
like
messed
some
up.
comments. Krabby
Messed
says, "I
up.
can't believe we
That's the messed
lost
up.
2 G's in 1 year. BG and KG. Sorry, Ryan. Not sorry." We also have John in the house dealing with a root canal.
Oh,
On top of Brandon Graham retiring, brutal, and we got Travis saying we love you, BG. Is it fair to say that there are some like weird parallels between Brandon Graham and Jalen Hurts? Like a lot of skepticism, a lot of unfair hate
sure.
towards Brandon and Jalen early in their careers. It took some time, but they both truly changed the narrative. For Jalen, it's both national and local.
Yeah,
But I feel like with Brandon, I think it was more so just local.
yeah.
Like a lot of the Eagles fans were really upset, and rightfully so. I remember watching it on TV with my friends, as we always do during the draft, and I was one of them. It happens seems to happen a lot with safeties and things like that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, but truly a guy that represented the city of Philadelphia, the spirit, the attitude, the persona. There's not
Well,
much
that and
beyond what
also
you guys already said.
what he has done for the city of Philadelphia. You can't take that away. He's been nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and rightfully so. He goes out into this community, and he makes Philadelphia better. And I feel like he's ingrained in this community. He has 2 young kids. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. So he'll be a part of this community for years to come, and I know he'll continue to give back in many of the ways that he has, while he played.
And that guy is going to be a gold mine when it comes to doing a podcast or joining sports radio. You know what he puts his what is it? How do you say he wears his
His
Heart
emotions
heart
on
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 his
his
his sleeve?
sleeve.
sleeve.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes too much, and maybe he'll probably say some things he probably shouldn't reveal. But
He said that in the presser too. Yeah.
It sure did.
so I'm sure he'll have, like Jason Kelsey, plenty of things lined up going down the
He's as
line.
beloved as Brian Dawkins. I mean, he really truly is. I mean, he went from somebody like you had mentioned who was seen as a bust, nobody wanted him, couldn't wait to get rid of him, and completely changed the narrative through hard work. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is one of the better stories that you'll ever hear in the city. I mean, just amazing.
Yeah, I feel like you made the Hertz comparison, and that's certainly true. And I still feel like Hertz's story is still being written, but it's very much like a Zach Hertz. People doubted Zach and was wondering when he would take that next step. And his first couple of years, again, he was okay, but he wasn't that like, oh, hey, like this is the guy that's touted as the next great tight end. And it wasn't until year 3 or 4 where he finally broke out and became a national name. And same with Brandon Graham. It took him a few years to really get it down and figure out his place and his footing. on this team. And once he did, yeah, I mean, you saw it, third all time in sacks, and one of the most iconic plays in the history of our team. Brandon Graham is going to be beloved here forever.
Yeah, we did a greatest Eagles plays of all time show last night, and we all pretty much agree like that is arguably a top 1, 2, or 3 play in Eagles history.
Yeah.
Forgot what I was about to say, but I like how you brought up like him smiling. Like you just Google Brandon Graham, and 95% of the photos that you're going to see are him either smiling, and then the 5% is him like going ham. But what's crazy is how you said, Ryan, like how he just finished on top, like just a storybook ending for this guy. Before he got hurt, this Eagles defense finished number 1 in the NFL, but there were some struggles at the beginning of the year, and I will say it with confidence, he was their best pass rusher.
He was.
Before he got hurt, at least more consistent. Like when our edge rushers could not get home, and he was there. And the way the Eagles utilized him, not just on the outside, but kicking him inside on third downs. Like I thought, he truly played exceptionally well, given how many games. So just major shout out. Any other comments before we get into some signings here?
Nope.
Nah,
wish him well.
Yeah, exactly. Wish him well. I'm glad I again got a chance to meet him, get his autograph. He signed, my Brandon Graham jersey. So I'll forever be thankful for that.
All right, let's get into our free agency grades. Here's some of ours from last week. Zach Baum was our only S tier on this one. I think that's Kenyon Green on the bottom there. I'm not sure.
I don't think we had him yet, did we?
Did we? All right. But anyway, let's go with Joshua Uche. Still young, came to the Eagles. He was a former second-round pick in the 2020 draft, had a monster year in 2022, 11.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 14 quarterback hits, but then only 9 sacks total the other 4 seasons in the NFL. We're going to be talking a lot about traits tonight, especially with some of their main guys here. And I feel like Uche has traits to really fit that Vic Fangio scheme. How would you grade Joshua Uche, David?
I give it a B. I think it's a pretty good signing. And you mentioned that he's shown the ability to put up huge numbers because he did it. If he's in the right situation, and he will be in a rotational depth there, so he will be able to come on and utilize his strengths more. I think it's brilliant. I mean, and when you get to the other player that will talk at the same position, Howie basically is playing Moneyball. I mean, he let Josh Sweat roll out for $15 million. He signs 2 edge rushers for $5-6 million, whatever combined. Pockets $10 million to help go towards the cap to keep the core together, which will be Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, etc. Cam Jurgens needs an extension. I think it's a brilliant move because for a team that likes to utilize a heavy rotation, the 2 that he signed are going to be perfect for that. And they're both on 1-year deals, which keeps everybody hungry. And they both know that if they succeed in this format, they'll either get paid somewhere else, but also by Philadelphia. They've proven that if you succeed on this, they're going to reward you. Yep. So I think it's brilliant.
Yep. Yeah. The other way to kind of describe a lot of these signings, reclamation projects, young guys that would benefit best from a change of scenery, but also in a better system. Ryan, how would you grade Uche?
Yeah, listen, this is exactly as David said. This is low risk, high reward. This guy has all the potential in the world. This is a solid B. I might even call it a B plus if it wasn't maybe for the other signing. But I'm agreeing with B. I feel like David stole the words right out of my mouth. The fact that you get Uche and the other guy for $10 million less, who's going to again in theory make up that production. I think that's a genius move by Howie, and again there are plenty of positions where you're going to have to do that, and Howie realizes this, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to be drafting an edge, but it certainly opens the options for other positions as well. So I think he did a great job of getting him first. Uche was definitely a guy that I liked when he was with the Patriots, and hopefully he can kind of reclaim that glorious year he had in 2022.
Yep. Punt man's in the house saying C. I'm good with the B. I like. He's exactly what the Eagles are looking for in terms of the measurables and the length and all that kind of stuff. And speaking of length, let's get to Azeez Ojulari, who has some of the longest arms, man. Another reclamation project, somewhat kind of struggle with injuries with the New York Giants. But when he's on the field, there have been real flashes similar to Uche. Was really good a few years ago. Looking to join his Georgia Bulldogs from 2020. I'll throw it to you, Ryan, first. How would you grade this one?
I'm going to give this an A. I think this is slightly better than the Uche. This is a guy that early in the free agency period when we first started talking about was a guy that I certainly targeted. He's young, again from Georgia, has potential just pouring out of his body, but he's been stuck in New York and he's been a little injured, and I don't know if you guys maybe you guys might, maybe you might not, but if you remember, it was last offseason where we signed a somewhat injured New York Giant. And then, he also had the greatest running back season of all time. I think, listen, it's not on that grand of a scale, but I think it is the junior version of the Saquon Barkley move, where you get a guy out of New York, you get him out of MetLife and that awful turf, you get him healthy and see what he can do. And everybody knows that Ojulari, when healthy, can be an absolute dog. And I think this is him and Uche, along with Nolan Smith, and with everybody else that they're going to have there at the edge position. I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think he's a little different than Uche. I think Ojulari is a guy that can win one-on-ones on the outside. Be a steady part of that four-man pass rush. But I'm excited to see how Ojulari and Uche kind of fit in terms of stunts and using that athleticism to confuse offenses and things like that. But I'll throw it to you, David, next. How would you grade it?
Yeah, I'm giving it an A2. I mean, the guy's averaged 5.5 sacks a season, playing only 450 snaps. And again, he's done that in playing. Man, what has he started half the games? He's really fought through injury. And if he can get a healthy season, which has been a knock on a lot of these guys, but New York's had a big problem with that, like Philly used to years ago, but they've kind of corrected that. They've, through training, through whatever it is, through better medical personnel on the, inside the NovaCare. I have no idea what it is, but it has turned around. They've been relatively healthy, and he's going to be a great rotational guy. He's back playing with all of his brothers. I mean, what has he got? 6 or 7 guys from that 2020. I mean, it's incredible, and that means something to them, because that's a real brotherhood there with those Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, that it's not like a lot of these other schools. These guys go around. I mean, if you remember when Nolan Smith was drafted, Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis were at his house. I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, they really are a tight brotherhood. So I'm expecting this to be a pretty big signing for them. I'm not going to say it's going to be like Zach Bond or something like that, but he does have the potential to have like a 8+ sack season and really make a huge impact on this defense.
Obviously, the next question, lined up here is who starts opposite Nolan Smith? Is it Jalix Hunt, Joshua Uche, Azeez Ojulari, or the Eagles draft pick? Well, gun to your head, pop quiz, hot shot. Ryan, what's your gut feeling?
Man, that's tough. I'll say draft pick.
What about you, David?
I think it's Jalix, but not by a lot, but maybe 100 snaps. But I think what this says more than it does anybody else that you have on that screen right there is it tells you what they really think about Bryce Huff, because they are loading up at defensive end. And I know they take a big cap hit if they move them. I know it's dead cap. I get all of that. But I think it says more about what they don't like about Bryce Huff than it does what they like about everybody else.
The fact that Howie can swallow that pill and be like,
I know.
it's time to move on, I respect it. I do.
He's
I
obviously
do as well.
never been afraid of taking dead money. So I don't think anybody should take anything off the board as far as, oh well, the dead money hit on that. It clearly doesn't matter to Howie. If he feels like this is going to improve his team, he's going to do it.
Yep. We have a comment from Travis. Can Uche or Azeez play the run? From my recollection, Azeez is not a great run defender. Neither is really Uche. They're kind of rotation pass rushers. Is that fair?
I know that I didn't look up Uche because I don't really remember him being utilized in that role much. But Azeez is like a 60% guy, which probably puts him dead middle in the league for the position. He probably rates like 100 out of whatever 200 plus edge rushers there are. He's good. He's nothing great about it, but yeah, I'd say you probably hit the nail on the head there. He's good, not great.
And ironically, if you look at a lot of the edge rushers in this draft, there are some guys that know how to set the edge. They just need to are solid against the run, but they need to develop their pass rush.
And they have some redundancy here in size too. What they're missing is another big guy, like a Josh Sweat 6'5", kind of got 265 guy. These guys are both like 240-ish, something like that.
And if this is the mold, like Princely Monmielen, like that's my gut feeling. All right. Travis says, because I feel like that's why Fangio doesn't like Huff. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to A.J. Dillon, the quad squad. Given how many yards this offensive line produces before contact, A.J. Dillon's a fun story, man. I'm excited to see him kind of be a part of this offense, especially in the second halves when they're trying to grind out games and keep Saquon Barkley healthy, keep some tread on those tires. David, how would you grade A.J. Dillon?
I'll give it a C just because I don't really hope to see tons of them. But as far as the tush push goes, if they thought it was a cheat code with Saquon back there, wait till it's Saquon and Dillon and those four quads pushing Hurts across that line. If you thought it was unstoppable before, you just wait.
What about you, Ryan?
Honestly, I think I'm going to go with a B because, obviously I get it. We want to see Saquon Barkley, but you said it perfectly. At the end of the game, again, you have a guy that can be a bruiser and just absolutely continue to wear down defenses, which is what Saquon is so great at. But this way you can save him a little bit more than when you had Kenny Gainwell. So I like the fact that it is, for me, and I know everybody's going to call me a hater, but I don't care. But this is a big upgrade over Kenny G in my eyes. And it's a low risk, low reward. I know he's coming off of a neck injury, but he's gotten cleared medically. He's good to go. And, I absolutely love this. So give me them quads, baby.
It reinforces that they're definitely playing a run game, even with the tight ends that they picked up.
Yeah.
This isn't designed for pass pro. This is designed to, suffocate you with the offensive line and run big men down your throat. So it's it's going to be, it's a different philosophy than what than the way they went into it last year. And I don't care if you clip that.
Definitely do that now.
Moving on. All right. I don't think he's a lock to make the roster by any means. I just don't know which one's best in pass pro, and I like picking up the blitz and stuff.
You can put him C plus if you want.
I'm going with C plus. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's put him right there. That looks nice.
There you go. Perfect spot.
I like it. All right, let's roll on to Ben Van Sumeren. 1-year deal with the Birds. Most importantly, and ESPN's wrong here, ESPN's calling him a linebacker, but in the announcement, the Philadelphia Eagles called him a fullback, which I was really excited about seeing. I thought BVS was an underrated player for the Birds when they were going under center. With him on the field, Saquon, his numbers were off the charts. And it was a weird thing, too, because we only ever saw it during the second half. And I think there's untapped potential with BVS, whether that's as a runner, but also in the flats as a receiver. He's a great special teamer, but I was really happy about that official announcement. I want to see more BVS. I think he should be on the field. Ryan, how would you grade it?
Yeah, listen, I think this is a solid and an easy decision to bring back BVS, and whether or not you utilize him as a linebacker, it's kind of really moot at this point. But I like it. I think this is again a solid kind of C plus B move. Again, he's obviously not, an all-star, an all-pro, nothing like that. But I think for what he does for this squad, I think it was an easy decision to bring him back. So
C for B, C
yeah,
for BBS. What about you, David?
Yeah, I think it's a solid B as well, mainly for both things that you mentioned. His special teams play, he was phenomenal. I mean, he was great at that. So having that back in there is great. And also as a fullback, I can't even remember the guy who they picked up to play that role after he was injured. But I know they had one.
Blasing game or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Blasing game.
But I think it's just another example that they are all in on this run game. They saw how they won last year, and they're doing it again, but on steroids.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's the identity. Run it down your – big men running it down your throat. Oh, we lost Ryan. All right, let's go on to Harrison Bryant. The Eagles had a couple tight ends, but I think the big name here is Harrison Bryant. Probably better than Calcaterra, a better blocker at least than Calcaterra. Played 4 years with the Browns before joining the Raiders last year. Caught in a numbers game there in Las Vegas. Good receiver. Has some fun tape if you look him up. But I'll throw it to you, David. What's your grade on Harrison Bryant?
I mean, I give it a C just because I don't know how he's going to be utilized, but I think he could be a very good gadget player. Like I think you've seen he had a play years ago where he lined up for a sneak and then made a pass. I believe he's picked up some first downs on the ground pretty consistently as well. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but I think this is all about the running game yet again. I mean, Calcaterra struggled in that aspect by and large, so I think they brought somebody in who won't. So
I really hope he's the replacement for Calcaterra. I'll say it. And that's not – I mean, I do want to say, like, Calcaterra filled in pretty okay when Dallas Goedert went down. Like, I don't think he dropped a single pass when he had that, stretch.
He literally didn't.
Goedert.
Yeah, he didn't.
So he had some big moments, but man, they like you said, David, I love the identity they're trying to build here. Ryan, do you give this a C?
Yeah, I think this is a C. I mean, this is a guy that, can come in and potentially kind of flip the tight end room around, but he also could, not make the roster. So, there's still a lot to be written for the tight end room, and obviously we're going to talk about another guy. But I feel like it's in kind of the same mold. So I'll give it a C and hope that, Dallas Goedert is still on this roster.
Let's roll on to. We have a comment here. Do you guys think Goddard ends up staying? I think all signs point to Goddard leaving at this point in
Yeah.
time. What's your gut feeling, David?
If the reports are true that they've allowed him to seek a trade, that's a terrible sign for his ability to stay. I don't agree with it, though. I agree with Ryan. I mean, unless Goddard is just not going to be willing to play because he doesn't have any more guaranteed money, unless he's forcing it as well, I'd just make the dude play on the 1-year deal. I'd rework the deal, give him his guaranteed money, and keep him on the roster for another year. But the only way I'm moving him is this, if he's adamant that he just won't do it either.
I'm in the same boat, man. They need him on this offense. We saw in the postseason, he was their best receiver, period. The last few weeks of the year, not just the postseason. And when he's healthy, yeah, that's a big if. But what he does as a true tight end one, he's a great run blocker, great receiver. I'm going to teach my daughter how to run block and catch because for some reason that's now become a lost art. It's hard to find those guys now. They're either one or the other.
The
Ryan,
running game averaged like 1.5 yards more per carry with him in the game too. I mean,
not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your identity, you keep the guy for another year until you get somebody else.
Plus, given how oh, God, Ryan.
Yeah, no. It's he's absolutely vital to this run game. Again, his health is certainly the biggest question mark, but when he's out there, he is a nice security blanket for Jalen up the middle and some screens and whatnot. I just think the drop off is what gets me. Is whether whoever you want to call it at this point, Calcaterra, Bryant, whatever, but from Dallas to the next guy is huge. And I don't want to see what that offense looks like when you basically have removed a tight end. And whether or not, it's Brian and he's just really being out there as a blocker, all right, that's nice and cute and that's great and all, but the versatility is king. And Dallas Goedert can run block, pass block, and catch the ball and apparently stiff arm somebody 3 straight times. So I agree with unless it's him pushing it, the drop off is too severe for me.
I am right there with you. And given how elite the Eagles were in 11 personnel, given how big of a safety valve he was against the blitz, he was like Jalen Hurts' like best friend against the blitz. His numbers there were outstanding in 2024. I really don't like the other alternatives. I would probably I get it how he needs to get cheaper, and I get the concept, but there's not a lot of great options out there, man. It's just for a tight end one, it's just what it is.
And if you draft one, like Ryan said earlier, Zach Ertz was great, but it took a couple years. I mean, these guys don't just come in tearing up the league unless they're just pass catchers. To do all the dirty work that they'll be asked to do on the Eagles offensive line, it takes time.
Sure. All right, let's get to Adoree Jackson from the New York Giants. Depth to the cornerback room, 1-year deal with the Birds. I think he's more Isaiah Rodgers replacement as a backup than he is to challenge Kelee Ringo for that starting spot. David, how would you grade Adoree Jackson?
Exactly the same. I think it's an Isaiah Rodgers plan there. I think he could be competitive. I mean, we didn't know what we had with Isaiah Rodgers till he went on the field and kind of beat out everybody to get the role that he got. So I do think Adoree Jackson has upside. He could be good, but I have no idea, if he'll actually be able to do that. But I do think he has talent. He has pedigree. He looks pretty decent on tape. If you go back and watch, he was asked to be on the island a lot, and he succeeded, a pretty big percentage of the time. But it was science, and it's just too hard to evaluate that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a C for me, because I do think it's Isaiah Rodgers, but I think it's a C that could have Isaiah Rodgers type impact where it makes it a B later down the road.
He's I go back to traits. He's an elite athlete. Excellent burner.
Oh, yeah.
Great change of direction ability. Big time closer. Short area agility. Fluid hips. All that kind of stuff. I hope it's a sign because I think he's an outside corner. I hope it's
Agreed.
a sign that they're going to keep Coop in the nickel going forward. And I still think they probably addressed cornerback higher than we think in the draft. But I think
Especially after the way they're getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Ryan?
Adori's a first-round guy. I mean, he has pedigree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree with David. I think this is a C that has the potential for a B, but again, I think that right now it's Keely Ringo's job to have whether or not they bring in somebody a little bit more, talented to kind of fight him off. But yeah, I think I've always liked Jackson when he gets drafted by Tennessee, I believe, right? So yeah, he's kind of been in a few places and done okay. I think Isaiah Rodgers, if that's what it ends up being, I think I'd be happy with that.
All right, I'm gonna have to do some magic with this chart in a few weeks. It's getting tight. Where should we go next? Let's go Charlie Hewlett, or we're gonna wrap this up really fast. Charlie Hewlett, Kylan Granson, Avery Williams. Where do we put those guys?
C-? I don't know.
Yeah,
D?
yeah, exactly.
Are you good with D? I don't have.
Yeah, I don't know if there's D's, but
I feel like there's more space at D, so we can put them in.
Yeah, throw them at D. They're just a bunch of dudes. D's are dudes.
They're training camp bodies right now until they prove otherwise.
Yeah, fair. Well, maybe not the long snapper.
Well, maybe not the long snapper. You're right, but also we're talking about a long snapper. So if we're getting that excited about a long snapper, I feel like we got more problems.
Two-time Super Bowl champion long snapper Rick Lovato.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is one of the 4, right?
Yep, he's gone though, so he won't get a third. But
yeah,
I think that's Kyle Granson. I think.
Yeah, that is.
I'm curious that if some of his errant snaps over the course of the season were thought of as problems for Elliott's timing.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping that for sure.
All right, I think we
can
know
move on to drafts.
I think we're going to move on to draft. Just long story short, I mean, there's definitely more positives than negatives this free agency period. Good to see. Let's get on to our Eagles 3-round mock draft.
If anyone expected big splashes in free agency, they were fooling themselves because that wasn't what was
sorely mistaken.
All right, let's get to David. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm going to pull this up here
because David's not in 2025 technology with.
We're going to do a 3-round mock. Are we doing trades or no trades?
That's up
no
to
trades.
You.
No trades.
No trades?
Yeah, let's just run through it.
All right. I'm going to put everything. I like to just put it all in the middle. Just keep it. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. All right, David. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Or not.
Here we go. Sitting at pick number 32, you've got Darius Alexander, Gray Zabel, Nick Scorton, Alec Iomanor, TJ Sanders, Tyleek Williams. Got a lot of D tackles sitting here. Trey Amos, Landon Jackson, Maxwell Hairston. Nicky Manwari is 43rd on their big board. That's fascinating. That is not even remotely
wild.
Close. Princely, you do. Oh no, we're not doing trades. Never mind. So, what's your gut feeling? We're going to go through all of this for David. Then Ryan, you're next.
Okay.
All right. Let me look at my Eagles only board that I have.
Yeah. Guys, if you're watching us live, comment who you think you would take if you're sitting here at number 32.
I know who I want to take, but I just want to make sure.
Then do it.
All Yeah, but every time I do it to be realistic, I end up losing these
Nobody said you
votes.
had to be realistic.
That's fair enough. All right, give me Maxwell Hairston.
Woo! Interesting. You
Okay.
think they go corner?
Yeah,
Boy.
he's a really exciting player, man. He's got a good feel for everything that he does. He brings attitude. Every cornerback I like has to have the finger wag swag, and he has it. So give me him. Plus, with the prices, like we mentioned earlier, what did Stingley just get? 30 million a year average.
30. Yeah.
So
Wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep them coming through the draft.
Maxwell Harrison's an elite athlete. He was arguably the biggest winner of the NFL scouting combine. Great measurables. We circle back to traits. He's got
He
the
was the
explosiveness.
fastest, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he ran a 4.29 or something.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous
It
athlete.
was.
What
Number 64, David.
what
Where
D
we going?
tackles are left?
You got it. Omar Norman Lott, Jordan Phillips, another solid athlete. Deion Walker, nose tackle. CJ West is kind of an underrated prospect. Didn't test as well as I thought. Anais Peebles. Riley Mills, I'm a big fan of.
I'm going to go Josh Farmer. I don't know if a lot of people know him,
Yeah.
but comes out of Florida State. He is pretty exciting to me. He's a prototype, man, kind of like 3-tech guy. Really, really explosive first step. I'm a big fan of him. He's probably a day 2 selection. His pass rush, everything that you could say that's a knock on him can be fixed with coaching. He has all the traits, natural leverage, really high motor. I'm a pretty big fan of him. So next, I'm going Tate Ratledge
There it
because
is. There it
I think
is.
that's like chalk for you on these things.
yeah, I love that guy,
Love
man.
Mason Tate.
Yeah, I know everybody's going to say we have Tyler Steen there, but we've had Tyler Steen there for 2 years. He lost out to Cam Jurgens 2 years ago. He
Yep.
lost out to Becton this year, and hopefully he does win the job. But if I gotta be the GM of the team, I can't rely on him winning it for the 3rd time. I gotta have competition. Tate Ratledge went up against all 6 or 7 of those Georgia people at school, so he's very well versed in going against the elite that's in the league. So that'll be it for me.
All right.
I think Howie would approve. 66.7% of this is SEC and Trench. All right.
Love it.
Ryan, quick thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's a great job. I mean, you get competition and the future in the corner in the first round. You get another interior D lineman and Farmer and Tate. It's one of my favorite players in the draft. So I gotta love it.
Pete
Yeah,
Incavilia's son.
Yeah, he really is. Inky baby.
All right. There is David's selections. Ryan, you're up next, man.
Let's go.
The bar doesn't have Wi-Fi, so Brian's got to.
You shut your mouth.
All right. Sitting at number 32, Kelvin Banks, Shamar Stewart, Amarian Hampton, Gray Zabel,
Yeah.
Demetrius Knight.
Keep scrolling up.
That swipe wasn't working.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Wait, hold on. Oh.
Or no trades.
I mean, listen. I, unlike David, don't care about reality. And I mean,
You're gonna do it,
if Eman Worry is sitting there,
I hate you so much.
I have to take him because he's going to be sitting there for dives, and you knew dives was going to take him, but now he can't. So now I got him. Let's go, Eman Worry.
That's how you win a poll, by taking a safety in the first round.
Hell yeah!
You're the worst. You're the worst.
Now
Now my whole plan is gone.
As if I've done this before.
Pumpman says Mike Green and Hairston definitely not on Howie's board because of domestic violence charge. I'm not aware of a Hairston
Yeah, I
domestic
didn't know where
violence
Harrison. I've heard of Greens. All right,
Whatever
scroll down
happened with
a little bit.
Hairston, I think he was a minor, so I don't know that anything's ever going to come out about that.
Yeah, well, there you go. record might be sealed. Scroll down a little bit. As much as I love the white linebacker from UCLA, you can stop. You can stop. I'm going to take Benjamin Morrison. Absolutely love Benjamin Morrison. I think second rounder is a no-brainer for me. You get another corner, another young corner to compete, and with the two rooks from last year, and with Keeley, you got four dudes that are like practically barely 18.
Yeah.
Ryan just fixed the whole defensive backfield in 2 picks.
You're welcome. And I'm gonna fix.
You
Wait.
do it.
Yeah, I am gonna do it. But go down just a little bit, just in case if there's somebody else that pops. Wait, hold on. Hey, Will Howard. That's his
I know where
favorite guy.
this is going.
Yeah, come on, you already know.
You might as well scroll back.
Yeah. Give me my boy. Give me my boy. I don't even need to say his name. Give me my
Nope.
boy. Let's go. Let's go. You said it perfectly. The DBs is fixed,
Yep.
and then you get a tight end. You keep Goddard for another year. You figure out what Fannin can be, and then give him the reins the year after that. Boom.
You have his head coach in the offensive game plan every week. I mean, they'll figure out how to use them.
Pubman says you drafted Grant Calcaterra 2.0.
Oh man, yo. First of all, Greg Calcaterra wishes he could catch a ball like Harold Fanning. Number two, Calcaterra couldn't block his way out of a paper bag.
Oh,
All right,
Lord.
and Fanning ain't that bad. It's been grossly overstated, his lack of blocking, and I'm sick of it.
To be fair, like they're bringing in guys that are similar to Fannin, like that. I forget the tight end's name off the top of my head.
Right, exactly. Nobody's.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Setting it up for Fannin, baby, and he can block. He was the PFF best graded run blocker.
Oh jeez.
Take it for whatever that's worth. That means something. That means at least he has the ability, coachability.
Hey, you got a B minus.
Coach.
Yeah, you got a B minus. That's not bad. All right, I'm going to go up next.
I don't know what that meant. You can't have anybody with a junior? It's weird.
Juniors are normally better, like Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Man, did I look out on this.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a good one. There's like 8 people I want to pick right there.
Yeah, I know who I'm taking.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm sitting here, and I've got an amazing choice. If I'm Howie, I'd probably trade back a spot or two, see what happens.
You win if you pick the right guy here. You've just KO'd both of us.
Yeah.
I'm definitely having a conversation between Walter Nolan and Jalen Walker, both elite playmakers. Walter Nolan, great pass rusher. He's in my top 10 in this draft. Jalen Walker right outside of it. You look at need and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to make Ryan super happy and go with a guy that just popped off the tape all season long. Every single time I watched the Bulldogs, Jalen Walker just looked so amazing. And that's where I'm going to go. The Eagles have a major hole there. And I'm going to go Jalen Walker, who's, I think, my number 11 prospect. I think he's terrific. So we're going to do that. I think he's an explosive, can really fit that Vic Fangio scheme. Next up, here we go. Darian Porter, one of the biggest winners of the scouting combine. Oh, my gosh. Josiah Stewart's there, too. Choices. I'm going to skim through what's available.
We got a rigged deck, Ryan. I know we did somehow.
I know, right? Don't worry, David. Dives will figure out a way to finish last.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true. I every time I do these, David, with Ryan, I think I win, and I got blown away.
It makes it so much better.
But I'm gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna
Boy.
if I hadn't gone Jalen Walker, I probably would have went Josiah Stewart here. I love the chaos of Travion Henderson. I think he's explosive and his upside is wild. Mason Taylor to go as an inline tight end is all there, but I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go all the way down here, and I'm going to go Andrew Makuba out of Texas, safety to add to that safety room. I think he's a major playmaker, underrated, very much. Love him. Love him. I have a video on him coming out right after this, FYI.
There you go.
Let's roll on Charles Grant. The Eagles just extended Lane Johnson. That is an interesting name. Deion Walker. That is I think a really fun question mark is how he's going to do with Jordan Davis going forward. Deion Walker could be a nose tackle who's solid. And I got to get a run blocker tight end. I love David Walker. Not an elite athlete. Doesn't have that explosiveness the Eagles typically look for. Sorry, I'm Antoine Powell-Ryland. Ryan, you love a lot. But I'm going to go with my final pick, and that's going to be Gunnar Helm. I'm going to add to the tight end room and get a guy that has tight end one upside with that balance you're looking for as a run blocker and as a receiver. So I went Georgia and Longhorns. Ryan, any thoughts?
Yeah, you did. Well, a PFF apparently hates you, so.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, you got linebacker, which I think was the bigger need over D tackle or interior defensive lineman. Again, you got to bring in a great safety. I've loved Makuba since he was at Clemson. And then Gunnar Helm. Again, you know me, I love myself some tight ends. So I'm happy with Helm being added to the realm.
David.
Nice. I like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely love this draft. Makuba is who I think is probably the most realistic option for the Eagles at safety, assuming they don't take one in round one. Gunnar Helm and Mason Taylor are my two favorite fits for the Eagles at tight end, again, assuming Tyler Warren doesn't fall to the 30s. And Jalen Walker, I have him as my fifth overall prospect in the whole league. I only have four guys ahead of him. You get him at 32, it's game over. It's like Nolan Smith. It's like Jalen Carter. I mean, that's amazing. And he's from Georgia. I mean, just keep them coming.
Yeah, don't stop.
Number 8, let's bring them on down.
Yeah, and next year, bring in Anthony Hill from Texas. Anybody, if you ever watched Texas play, Anthony Hill is the best linebacker in the country, man.
I would love that.
If you ever question PFF's grading scores for players, look how it graded his mock. He got an F, a D, and a B, and it turned out to a C. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but all right.
One man says Braden Swinson is my guy. I also have a video of him coming out right after this.
Same. Top 2 fit for the Eagles, in my personal opinion, for edge. Love him.
There you go.
He's definitely an edge setter. Dylan Stewart. Who's Dylan Stewart? I'm drawing I can't. Are you thinking of
Shamar Stewart?
Shamar Stewart? Or are you thinking of the running back?
Dylan Sampson?
Sampson?
Maybe Dylan Sampson. Let us know, Pump Man.
There's too many Dylans. There's too many Stewarts.
So maybe we'll throw this to a poll. And
there's a Dylan Stewart for the Gamecocks. He might be talking about him, the edge rusher.
I don't know him. Oh, we lost Ryan.
I'm right here.
Dylan Stewart's only like 18 or 19 years old.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but
Same.
Here we go. South Carolina defensive end, not in the draft. Okay.
Okay, well, that's why I don't know.
He's really, really young.
Cool. I'll have to check him out. That's really cool.
Do.
All right, there it is. We didn't know how long this was going to be, and we still went nearly an hour.
They're always an hour.
Always an hour.
Always.
Unless we say it's going to be a short show, then it'll be an hour and a half.
Ryan can drive now, actually. It's been long
I
enough
know.
that
They finally gave you your license back. That's good.
Yeah, well, too bad I'm going back in after this.
that's great.
All right. Actually, like I'm excited. Like I might have to look up this guy.
He's a pretty exciting player. He's just really young.
That's what I do. I like as soon as the draft is over, like there's no
On to
Next
the
year,
next.
man.
there's no real Phillies content. Like I go straight into the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
draft. Like anyway.
Love it.
Krabby says you look much better in the dark, Ryan. We don't speak this name. He needs to be benched immediately
Seriously.
because he's making me nervous. He looks really good.
Cut it up, brah.
Let's wrap it up. David, final thoughts. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it was a fun show. Loved it. We covered everything. God bless BG. I wish him well in retirement. Hope you see him at the stadium on a consistent basis. That's all I got.
Ryan.
Oh boy, yeah. Listen, shout out to BG, absolute man of the people. He will be sorely missed, and yeah, can't wait to see what's next for him. But make sure you guys are following each one of the others here, and of course, we can't forget Shane, R.I.P. Shane.
All right.
Although he'll be back next week. But yeah, follow everybody here. And appreciate everybody, and thank you for allowing me to come, while I'm in my car.
You're behind the curtain. You're not fooling anybody. That's behind that freaking Eagles curtain.
My shower curtain.
Yeah.
Ryan, do like a shot of Jaeger for me, man.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
You're not gonna tell me twice.
For BG, man.
But anyway, on my other channel, I got a series starting. I already have the second video ready to go too, of my favorite day 2 and day 3 guys. That's my favorite part of the draft. I love getting into day 2 and day 3. And they're fun names, guys. I think that I could fit, zone schemes and tight ends, a lot of high RAS scores, things like that could be a Howie written all over it. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe it drops tonight. Maybe it drops tomorrow morning. I don't know. But we're not going to do Armchair Scouts tonight. I am going to bed. It's been a long past 2 days. And to be honest, I just want to watch the tournament. Go San Diego State. And that pretty much wraps it up. Guys, thanks everyone for watching. He is David at PHL Eagle News. That is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. I'm Dibes, Mr. Crockpot. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.